Hey there, welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin, and I thought I would make a series of videos on charging. When I was a brand new user just 2 months ago, I knew nothing about charging. All this new stuff, what was it going to be like? How do I do it? So we'll make a series on this. First series is going to be about at-home charging. So let's dive in. On my vehicle, GMC Sierra, they came with a charge cable, a portable charge cable. So this is a cable. It's got the J1772 end, and then it's got the connector for a couple different connections. So you can take a look at that. So this is a portable cable, can go with you. It has two plugs. This first one is a 15 amp, 120 volt, pretty standard plug that you've probably seen. So this is going to be a very slow charge, probably a level 1 charge you would call this. It's going to be just roughly over 1 kilowatt per hour. So if you consider that this has a battery pack of over 200 kilowatts, 200 hours to charge for a full charge if you were all the way at zero. So this really is more of a safety plug in case you really need to plug in, and it'll take some time to get you recharged. So I did try this a couple times. I was getting just over a kilowatt charge, and in like 2 hours I got like 4 miles or something like that. So not very much, but if you had to use it, and that was even plugged into a 20 amp outlet, which this can plug into. The other thing about this is that I tried to plug it into an extension cord and it did not work. So something to be aware of, that the out-of-the-box charger for the GMC Sierra EV Edition 1, this is probably really not going to be something that's going to work too much for anybody. It also comes with a 240. This is a 50 amp plug, similar to what you'd find for an RV plug. So I first thought it was a 30 amp plug, but it's a 50 amp. If it was true 50 amp, you'd be able to get maybe about 20 kilowatt hours or 14 kilowatt hours on a charge. However, this system is set to max out at 32 amps. So the maximum that this can do is 32 amps. I'm going to put in the description down below a website I found that basically converts all the amps into kilowatts. So if you really want to nerd out, you can go look at that to see what it is. So you would need a plug like this in your house, or you could use this when you in an RV park if you're traveling. This would be a fairly good charge, probably about 7.7 kilowatts per hour on this, and we'll talk about that more in just a second. So you probably need an electrician to do this install. So those are two. I'm sure you can probably go out and buy other cables like this. I haven't looked. I think Electron is kind of a common one out there that you can buy. But there are different cables out there. You do need to make sure that it's going to be supported for the GM vehicle. So at home, those are one option, that cable. And you can also go and buy a level 2 charger, which I did. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So here's my level 2 charger. I bought a ChargePoint charger. And the reason I bought a ChargePoint charger was because I contacted my utility company. And my utility company, like several or many of them out there, have programs for charging at home. So my first advice to anybody is to check with your utility company on your charging options at home. See if they have some plans. Where I live, Excel Energy does have a plan. They have 2 supported chargers. Only those 2 supported chargers are allowed for the plan that they have. And then you can either purchase them through them. You can purchase them yourself. You can install them yourself. You can have an electrician install them. You do need to understand that you're going to be plugging into 240 or dealing with 240 to do this. So they have this set up to only do 32 amps. This charger itself for ChargePoint is rated up to 50 amps, but the reason I'm only at 32 amps is because my box is limited. I only have a 100 amp box. You can see it's full there, and these top 2 up here are the 40 amp plugs or 40 amp breakers for this charger. So the electrician actually had to set that in the system. If you did your own install, maybe you could change that, but you're going to be ending up probably blowing breakers. So with Xcel Energy, you do get charge rates at extremely low price, charging from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. So here where I'm at, it's about 8 cents total all in when you start putting in their fuel costs. So 8 cents versus a normal charge at peak is probably 20 cents. So that's quite a bit of difference. To give you a kind of an idea of how much that is, to fill up my vehicle, to completely charge it, would be about 17 bucks. So to do that full charge. So let's go ahead and let's plug this in. I have it set up to normally charge at night, but we'll go ahead and plug it in here so you can kind of see what it does. But it's very simple. Pull it here, go back to my vehicle, and I'm going to plug it in. Sorry, one-handed. Plugs in. There's your plug. That top one is just for the J1772. It's going to plug in, and it's going to cycle through some different lights here. So as I stated, mine gets about, oh, the vehicle's not on, that's why, so it's going to be just like that for now. It's waiting to actually do anything or be told to do anything for my vehicle. So I can engage this through the app. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. I'll probably throw some screenshots up here that'll show you what the app looks like, since it's a little hard to take pictures of the app. But I'm going to go to the ChargePoint app and go ahead and show it here. But I have an account through the app. It was all set up with the electrician who did my install, and it's going to automatically find my home charger right there, and it tells me that it's set to charge at 12 a.m. I can go to settings and I can change that if I wanted, but I'm not going to get the cheap rate if I don't do that time period. But I can start it right now. And here, start charge now. Are you sure? Yes. So let's just watch the lights here. It should go through, progress through a series of lights that basically tells it. So there it just clicked, telling it, hey, it did talking. That's blue, that's good. Green means it's connected, and now it's green flashing, so it is connected. If I refresh my app, which takes just a second, it does show that my current session is charging, and there gives you some information. So the apps do give you some information about that, from that, and here's what it is. Also some activity, just to give you an idea. For me, when I'm charging at night, I'm going to go back here because I haven't had to charge much recently, but in a 6-hour period of time, oops, it reset on me. In a 6-hour period of time, you can see it's getting about 93 miles, and it's charging in about 7.7 kilowatts per hour on this. My energy cost is a little off here, but that is about what I'm getting in a full charge overnight for 6 hours, about 93 miles, so, which is pretty good. Again, I don't go very far on a daily basis. Some days I don't hardly go anywhere, so that gives you kind of an idea. I'm going to go ahead and leave this running, but you can also see here, if I go back to my charging, there's a stop session there too. So recommend, don't just unplug, don't just pull that out. Hit the stop session from your charging session wherever you're at. No matter what system you're at, there should be a stop charging, or you can do it inside the vehicle. So a couple of things I just wanted to review regarding at-home charging questions regarding 80%, 100%, how much should I charge it up to? Well, in my case, as you saw, I just charge at night from 12 until 6, so it's going to do whatever it can do in that period of time. However, I do have a limit set for 80%, and we'll show that in just a second. So do you go to 80 or do you go to 100? A couple things that I've read as well as seen is, the first thing is that Elon Musk gave an explanation that basically said, think of your battery as like a parking lot. When it's empty, it's really easy to put energy in there. It's really easy to find a spot in a parking lot. When the parking lot gets more full, it's more time consuming. to get that energy inside you, or to get your energy in, or find a parking spot. So it's not always so much just like, hey, it's bad for the battery, anything like that. It's just that you're wasting time, specifically if you're doing fast charging on a road trip. At home, you could charge it up, and it's really not going to take any difference, not going to hurt your battery. The other thing that they do say, though, is another reason why you would not want to charge to 100% is the fact that you're not then taking advantage as much as you can of regen. One of the things that you'll find when you get your first vehicle is that you can use one pedal driving, where you get regenerative power charged back to your vehicle when you're slowing down or braking. So when you're regenning, again, if your battery is still full, it can't find a spot for it, it's not going to be able to use that advantage or use that power back as easily. As well as what I'm finding is that when you're driving around the city, like I do most of the time, you're getting much better miles per kilowatt because you're regenning so much. So you're better off leaving it so that you can pack in as much energy when you're driving around in the city. So that's one question I've seen or heard regarding charging 80% or 100%. I'm no expert in that. That's what I've read regarding it and what the recommendations are that I've seen. So let's go ahead now, and I'm going to jump in the vehicle. We're going to take a look at some of the stats in the vehicle, as well as some of the other things in. Okay, so I jumped in the vehicle here. I've not turned the power on. I've not hit the brake or anything like that, but the screen comes up, shows me I'm gaining 14 plus miles an hour. I'm at 72%, and it shows me that I'm plugged in, and then that goes away. If I hit the screen over here, I'm going to go ahead and start the vehicle here.
Not explained.
They've not understood a quote.
And let's go ahead and hit the charging button here. We got 3 panels here that can tell us about what's going on here. The first one, again, is showing kind of our state of charge. Just from here, it's 100%, charging to 100%. So I currently have it set to allow it to charge up to 100%. It estimates 440 miles, 14 miles per hour. 14 miles per hour is what it's gaining. If I click on this, I get a little bit more detail, and it tells me to be ready by 10:15. And here's the actual slide bar that you can change your setting to. So you can do this in the app also. I'll paste a picture right here now also regarding the app at where you can do those settings there. A couple screenshots I'll show. But you can change this in the app as well. I'm not going to change it while it's charging. I don't want to cause a problem. So that just gives you some information there. You also have, so if you don't have a charge system like mine where I'm setting it up from an app, you do have a button right here, called Schedule Home. So again, Schedule Home Charge. So if I just use the built-in one, you do have capabilities to set up a charge. You create a schedule. So this would be for just that other cable. I can, pick the days that I want it to run, the times I want it to run, do I want to set preconditioning, etc., etc., etc. So I don't use that, but it can be done here. I'm not going to walk through any more steps on that just because I've not used it personally myself. And then you also have, we'll cover this just briefly, but you have Charge Assist right here. This is going to give you really some of your locations of nearby chargers, and we'll cover this here just briefly, but I'm going to cover this in some future videos as well when we look at other stations. So Charge Assist that's built in here does show you the stations. It takes a little while to spin through, but here you can see there's a list of different stations. I can go up to this filter up here, and I can filter what I want to look at. So you can filter the networks. What do you all want to see? So there's a whole list of them in here if you know what's in your area. I have that set. You can also filter off of availability. I found that to leave it for everything, just because I've seen some actually say that there's no status at all, but I've driven up and charged on them. And then you have the charge type up here. Generally, if you're out looking for a charger, and you're not at home, you're probably going to be looking for fast charge, so you can just select fast charge. And then I can go back, let it spin a little bit, and it should come back with just some of the fast chargers near me. I really don't have a lot right where I live, which is fine because I'm not planning on charging fast. Again, fast charge is great when you're traveling or going long distance because of the fact that you don't have your home charger. But because of that, they're charging you anywhere from 40 to 60 cents per kilowatt hour. At home here, like I said, I'm being charged roughly 8 cents per kilowatt hour. So you can see there's a big difference that once you get on the road. So here's it showing me some of the different chargers in my area, and you can utilize that. But those are some of the different chargers, and you can navigate to them, you can look at them, see what they have. This is a charge point. This is a connectors. It just has the J1772, so it tells you that it's going to get 7.7 kilowatts per hour, so that's not a very fast one. You can also save some favorites, and then you also have accounts. I have a ChargePoint account and I have a Tesla account. And I also have an EV-Go account. It's just not set up correctly yet, so I'll have to get that configured. But we'll talk more about those accounts in the future. Something else we want to touch on is that in the settings up here, you can set your home location, and you just update your location. I'm not sure what that really does, but does that. But you also have charge cords types here. You can set the level 1 and the amperage there. So if I'm on a 20 amp circuit, I'm probably okay using the 12. You have the 8, or you can set the 240. It's going to max out at the whatever. So I'm going to just leave it set at that. You have some notifications here, so you get some feedback. One of the things that you might want to turn off for this vehicle is the headlight charge indicator. This is going to flash and show up while this is going on, and your neighbors are going to wonder why your car is flashing in the middle of the night. Preconditioned temperature, you can set that. So set the temperature you want your cabin to reach before you start your drive. So that's if you do an auto restart. Plug your vehicle in during preconditioning to optimize range by using core power instead of your vehicle's battery. So it's just saying that, hey, when you're preconditioning the interior of your vehicle, you're best to be plugged in so that you're not wasting battery. And then you have some preferred charge times. I don't have that set, so that is something that you can set as well. Okay, so to wrap up our session for at-home charging, I'm going to go ahead and stop this session of charging. Get zoomed in here a little bit. Again, mine has a little button there. I can't really read it that well. Communicates back. It just clicked, turned red, now off. It's red, so it's telling me it's flashing red, so it's telling me it's all ready to go. So that would end. Hey, so to wrap up at-home charging, a couple things I forgot about is the actual charger itself. It costs, I'll just give you some stats about my charger. It cost the electrician $450 for them to put it in. I could have probably done it myself, but I didn't want to deal with $240. I didn't want to deal with the inspection and all that stuff. They took care of all that for me. So again, because I went through Xcel Energy, they actually arranged all that stuff. They called me, they got it set up, guy came out, it was all done. Simple, easy peasy, as they say. As far as the cost of the charger, I decided to actually lease it from Xcel Energy, so I get a bill every month on my electric bill for $16 a month while I lease it. The thing about that is that if it breaks, has some problem, I can call them, they come out there and fix it and take care of it. Otherwise, you could buy it through them, or you could buy it through somebody else, and then you could either install it, or if you bought it through them, they would install it for a charge, etc., like they said. So that's a little bit of information on the charge unit itself. Again, there's many different ones out there that you can make your own decision on. And so for the last thing here, I'm going to have a series of these. So next we'll go do some fast charging. So we'll go out and I'll show you how to use a Tesla charger, how to use an EV-Go, and how to use an Electrify America. So I'll make separate little videos on that. They're all rather similar, but if you're like me, I didn't know any of them. I was like, hey, how does this work? I'm a little apprehensive about buying an electric vehicle. How's this going to work when I'm traveling, etc., etc. So I'll make a quick short video, show you how easy they are to use. I've had errors with them myself where they don't always work, so it's not that hard though. So signing off for now.